Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tres Jolie channel. I am here getting ready to work on another project using this month's mixed media kit. And just to go over real quick again, there were the two paints, the crackly campfire and some lucky clover. And if you didn't see my first video, I am using up a lucky clover that I already had in my stash, and there was the tube of the charcoal black matte wax in the kit, but I had a tin already open in my stash, so I'm going to be using that up. And then the stencil from the kit and these Finnabair decorative papers. So that's where this is starting from. And I have these items from my stash. Now, these resin butterfly and butterfly pieces came from a Prima papillion. There we go. Like so. And I had already used the stand and the medium sized butterfly quite a while ago, actually, sometime last year. So I'm going to use these on this little panel I have, which is just some MDF, and I used a piece very similar to this in September's projects. It came from the same shipping package. So I'm going to start with these pieces and kind of see where everything's going to go. But I want to get this ready. And I'm kind of going to go on the lighter side. So I'm going to put down some white gesso on this background before I start really working on the background. Alright, my gesso is dry, and I'm going to put some of the lucky clover on and dry that. And now I'm just going to add some bits, tear them and layer them on to the background, and I'm going to put them down with just some matte gel. Now, after the trimming and that gel is dried, I'm going to add some clear gesso onto the top, just to make sure that that paper is really protected. Alright, and now with that dry, I'm going to add some matte super heavy gel with the stencil in just around it randomly, and then I'll let this sit and air dry. Alright, I'm going to set this off to the side to finish drying while I do some work on the resin butterflies here. Now, I kind of want to see, and I think it actually will work. Yes, it will. Okay, I am going to add tissue paper to my butterflies, like so, but I'm going to brush it on pretty heavy onto the back of the tissue paper so that it's easier for me to push down into these holes here. Alright, I don't have any of this glued down. I was just trying to get placement going. And these mold pieces are from my stash. I make up quite a bit when I can. So there's the gears and the circuit board looking parts and the keys that are from the Mechanica mold, Prima. And then the stars are all from the Stars and Moons mold that is also Prima. So I'm just going to take my butterflies off carefully. And then just as carefully, I am going to adhere all of these pieces with some heavy gel, and then let that dry before I work on what I'm thinking next. And I haven't done anything. Some of these have gesso on them, but that's because they had been done before. But after everything's down, then I will work on adding any gesso or paint. Okay, as you can see, that gel is dry. So all my resin pieces are going to stay put. And I'm actually going to work with some white gesso. I think that that's going to work best for what I'm kind of have envisioned in my head here. So I'm not going to put it everywhere. I will keep it to the resin pieces and just kind of out from them a little bit. Alright, that white gesso is dry. So now what I'm going to do is add some of that crackling campfire. And when I do that, I will just be watering it down, letting it pool. Not really brushing it on. I'll just use a brush to kind of spread it about. But I'm not going to try to make it neat and tidy. Alright, these butterflies, they are not dried. I'm just going to try to put on a few things right now that will all need time to dry. Kind of let it all go together. And part of that is going to be now, I am going to be adding some more of the crackling campfire. In just some places, a few layers at a time. Okay, these are on, and I am just going to use some matte gel here. Over here I have a mix of some Mega art stones and just the regular art stones from Prima. Those are from my stash, but I'm just going to randomly brush these on using this gel. And after these are on, I'm going to go back over and sprinkle on some of these mini art stones. Okay, these are all dried on. And I'm going to give everything a brushing of some clear gesso. Okay, hopefully there's not too much background noise. I've had a crazy few days. That gesso is dry. And now I'm just going to kind of hope too many of these don't pop back off. They're mostly put on, but there might be one or two that didn't quite have as much glue as other ones. So this is just a little cup I keep around. I think it came out of like a protein powder. And I'm going to do it to try to ease my pour. Well, it's not like a paint pour, not an official paint pour. But because this is the dauber top, the same kind, it's a dauber top that came in the kit as well. I'm going to kind of pre-water it down a little bit so I don't have to rub it on, and I can just kind of, there we go. Oops. Now I gotta get the little ball came out. There we go. I don't think it will take a lot. I'm just going to do it to add some green onto all the art stones. Okay, this is dry, and I'm going to use this matte wax. Now, if you're using the tube that came in the kit, you can just, get a little something to squirt some on. But since I'm using my already opened tin that I had in my stash, I'm just going to brush out of it. And this is a really soft brush because I don't really want to go too heavy. I'm kind of hoping to just get some of this on lightly. We'll see how that really goes. Alright, now with my wax on, I want to make some splatters, a couple splatters on here with the Lucky Clover and some of the crackling campfire. So I'm going to do that real quick. All of my splatters are dry, and I'm going to be adding these beads here. They are Midnight Magic, beautiful beads, iridescent, from Renee Bouquets. And I'm going to use some gloss gel. This isn't super heavy, it's just the regular gel consistency. And I'm going to use that, and probably also in conjunction with some diamond glaze, to really make sure that they stay where I want them. Okay, well, looking at this, I've decided I want to put on some of these beads. Now, these are really, really, really micro beads, and I'm just going to sprinkle them on. Just for a little bit extra in between everything here. And now I'm just going to let all of this dry before I try to shake anything off, so that hopefully it will all stay. But even if only most of it stays, it won't be too hard to add a little bit on back here and there. Alright, my little butterfly plaque here is complete. I hope that this project gave you some ideas of what can be done with that paper and the stencil and the mediums that came in this month's kit. You know, I used that paper on the background, and even though you can't see the print on it, it did add texture because I had made wrinkles in it. I added the stenciling on the back for more texture, layered the paints on, and then brushed on just a light bit of that matte wax to really grunge it up here. And just to contrast with all of the matte on here with the paints and the wax, I added some shine with some beads from my stash. So thank you for joining us here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some ideas of what can be done with those mediums. And I will see you again soon.